Dear friends, welcome to our new video. If you are not subscribed the channel, please hit subscribe button and activate the bell button. What do you know about the effects of narcotics and stimulants on the brain and nervous system research? In what ways are opiates and stimulants distinct from one another? A narcotic is a substance that, when consumed, causes the organs to function more slowly and causes the user to become fatigued. In addition to alcoholic beverages, cigarettes, opium, calming syrups, and pain relievers are considered narcotics. The term stimulant refers to a medication that causes the organs of the body to work harder and faster for a short period of time before slowing down. Stimulants, such as coffee and tea, are considered to be stimulant substances. Brews such as beer, wine, and whiskey were once thought to be stimulants, but tests have revealed that these beverages are actually illegal prescription drugs. They cause the brain to function at a faster rate for a few minutes, but then they cause it to function at a slower rate than normal for the next half hour. Alcohol has a negative effect on the brain. An alcoholic beverage such as beer or whiskey can enter the bloodstream in as little as 5 minutes after it is consumed. Even after only 15 minutes, a significant amount of alcohol has already passed through the stomach and into the bloodstream. As soon as it enters the blood vessels, it begins to circulate through the body and into the brain. Drinking a large amount of caffeinated beverages causes the brain cells to become numb, making it impossible for them to send correct movement commands from their brains to their muscles. After that, the individual begins to stagger around and is labeled as inebriated. Large amounts of whiskey can paralyze the nerve cells in a man's body to the point where he is unable to move and will lie down, seemingly unconscious, in his bed. A tablespoon of whiskey will make a toddler inebriated, and twice that amount will almost certainly make him sick, according to the American Medical Association. A large amount of alcoholic beverages can result in delirium tremens, which is a terrifying illness that affects the brain. Over the course of the illness, the individual believes he has seen horned animals, hissing snakes, and other vexing monsters that are bothersome. Alcohol has a negative impact on the thinking part of the brain. Traditional wisdom held that drinking wine or whiskey could improve a man's ability to reason. We now know that either of these beverages impairs his ability to think clearly and causes him to make mistakes. 2 European doctors conducted a large number of studies on individuals to determine whether or not alcohol had an impact on their intelligence. In their research, they discovered that when men drank wine, they were able to perform approximately 1/10 as much labor while adding numbers as when they did not. A study conducted by these doctors looked into the impact of alcohol on memory, and they discovered that even trace amounts of alcohol caused students to learn their courses more slowly. Despite the fact that they have only consumed a small amount of alcohol, people frequently say and do things that are completely irrational. They occasionally spill secrets, for which they profusely apologize once they have regained their composure. They are prone to becoming enraged for the smallest of reasons and striking or even shooting anyone who appears to be speaking or working against them in any manner. People who consume alcoholic beverages are more likely to steal and murder. In large quantities, the alcohol found in strong drinks appears to depress the region of the brain that aids in the differentiation between right and wrong behavior. It was found that alcohol was a contributing factor in nearly 12,000 of the cases heard by the courts in Suffolk County, Massachusetts, in a single year. Alcohol was found to be the cause of the wrongdoing in almost 12,000 of these cases. A few years ago, the records of 30,000 inmates were compiled, and it was discovered that more than 12,000 of them had committed their crimes while under the influence of alcohol. Earlier this year, researchers looked into another meticulous database containing over 13,000 convicts from 12 different states. The consumption of alcoholic beverages was the primary cause of nearly 4,000 of these men's criminal offenses. Alcohol has a sickening effect on the mind. Affecting certain regions of the brain is known to cause mental illness, and anything that affects the brain will almost certainly have an effect on the mind. When a person's mind is unable to function properly, they are regarded as being mentally ill. In a study of 2,000 insane people in New York State, it was discovered that alcoholic beverages were the root cause of mental illness in more than 500 of them. It is estimated that alcohol was responsible for the admission of more than 200 of the 687 people in Massachusetts who were so insane that they required 24-hour supervision. Alcohol has an easy time overcoming the young brain. When someone first begins to consume alcoholic beverages, no one anticipates becoming a drunkard or a criminal. Continued alcohol consumption, on the other hand, numbs the brain and weakens the mind to the point where a person's ability to exert willpower is compromised or lost altogether. In the following days, despite his best efforts, he is unable to stop drinking alcohol. He's been enslaved by his addiction to alcohol. When a young person consumes alcohol, his or her brain is damaged much more quickly than when an older person does. And he or she is much more likely to become a slave than someone who begins drinking later in life. 299 slaves who were addicted to alcohol were investigated by Dr. Lambert of New York City. The researcher discovered that 4 people began drinking before the age of 6, 13 between the ages of 6 and 12. 60 between the ages of 12 and 16, 102 between the ages of 16 and 21, 71 between the ages of 21 and 30, and only 8 after the age of 30 started drinking. Young people should avoid consuming large amounts of alcoholic beverages at any time of day, according to these findings. Laws pertaining to alcoholic beverages. According to the men who draft laws for the general public's benefit, alcohol causes harm to many people's minds and bodies on an annual basis. As a result, legislation prohibiting the sale of strong drink has recently been passed in a number of states, as well as major portions of many others. Tobacco has been shown to slow the processing speed of the brain. In a study of hundreds of students entering a large university in New England, researchers discovered that those who smoked took more than a year longer to learn enough to be eligible to enroll in the school's first-year classes than those who did not smoke. Furthermore, 95% of those who received the highest possible grade in their university work did not smoke cigarettes in their spare time. The use of tobacco is thought to slow down the functioning of the mind by preventing all of the blood from reaching the brain. This is accomplished through the contraction of blood vessels. Currently, there is no evidence that tobacco has any effect on the brains of older people. The findings of Indiana Superintendent Ogg are that occasional smokers are a year behind those who do not smoke, and frequent smokers are 2 years behind those who do not smoke. Cigarette smokers were found to have poorer behavior and honesty than non-smokers, according to the study. Opium, morphine, and cocaine are all classified as illegal substances. All of these potentially dangerous medications are routinely prescribed in our country. On the other hand, they have an odd effect on the brain. All of them are analgesics, which means they relieve pain. When a person first begins to use it, only a small amount is required to produce the desired effect on the body, which is convenient. It will be necessary to increase the doses in the future. After only a few months of use, a person becomes enslaved to the habit of taking them and is unable to break free of it without medical intervention or supervision. As a result, taking these medications at any time can be dangerous. These potentially dangerous medications can also be found in powders that are used to treat nasal colds, such as paregoric and laudanum. Pain relievers and calming syrups are available. The majority of pain relievers contain opium, morphine, or other potentially hazardous substances. As a result, using them is fraught with danger. An organ that is malfunctioning and necessitates attention can be identified by the presence of pain. In fact, relieving pain has little effect on the sick organ, and it may even cause the organ to become so ill that it dies as a result. Whenever a part of the body is injured or ill, nerves are used to alert us to the situation. Using pain to alert us to danger is as foolish as killing someone who delivers bad news. Numbing the nerves that alert us to danger is even more foolish. Children should never be given drugs to put them to sleep or to stop crying unless it is recommended by a physician to do so. Pills and powders are both options. Attempting to treat yourself with over-the-counter medications or powders is not recommended if you are sick. Some of these medications contain chemicals that are harmful to the heart and other vital organs, including the liver. Taken together, these drugs have resulted in the deaths of a number of individuals. When you're sick, see a good doctor who understands how your organs should function. He'll figure out which one isn't working and tell you exactly what medicine you'll need to take as well as what to eat in order to get better as soon as possible. My favorite beverages are tea and coffee, which are both made from beans. These beverages are typically used to wake up the brain and improve its performance for a short amount of time. If a large number of them are used, the brain may become overstimulated, causing people to feel uneasy and uncomfortable. If consumed after supper, they may make it difficult to sleep. The consumption of tea and coffee by children is not recommended. The consumption of tea or coffee can cause digestive problems, and coffee can be harmful to both the stomach and the heart. If you liked the video, press like and have a look on the references in the description box.